Was bound to happen.
It was.
13 days in, though, I didn't expect it this soon. We've hit a day where one of us is sick and one of us is crappy.
Yes.
And I did not expect them to be on the same day.
I kind of feel a bit crappy. Yes.
Yes,
Instant flu, or whether I've just slept wrong, or it's just the heat. Because today was forecast for 36 degrees, but it's about 30 at the moment. Tomorrow's supposed to be 36. And I think Monday's going to be like 21, 22. So it's a sudden drop off.
Yes, and for all you Americans out there like me, that just means it's hot.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All numbers quoted are in Celsius.
It's in the upper 90s. It's just hot, especially for
it's hot. We don't know these temperatures. We've never seen it before. But anyway, onwards and upwards. It's Saturday, episode number 13.
Lucky 13.
Well, it might be. I feel crap.
Well,
yeah, 13.
I just woke up crabby.
Yeah.
And by the way, that would be crabby. So take that. But we're going to talk about something that we love, which is music.
Yes, because you might still seen this episode billed as Music Club, I believe.
Yes, but due to copyright laws, we can't just come on here and start talking about music and playing music. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. You'll get yourself into all sorts of trouble.
They shall sueth your asseth.
Slap wrists and everything.
Yes. So, but we are going to tell everyone the plan we have for the Meeting Planner Music Club.
Yes.
That was a fun thing, right? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, this is something that you've dreamed up, and it's brilliant.
Well, because it works.
Yeah.
Right? And, that's the thing. That's the hardest thing I think people understand about copyright law. And we will do an entire episode on copyright. Now, let me explain a little bit about how crazy copy. So I work with a client who has a very large conference that takes a whole convention center and surrounding hotels. And there are events and meetings happening in all of it, right? It's not like people stay at the hotel and then come to the convention center. They fill the whole freaking thing. Yeah. So we are there and they are having a reception at one of the hotels. And because their event is so big, they actually have like a compliance guy who's actually on site. By the way, is fantastic. So we come in, someone had an idea for music. I know that we have licensing in the convention center. We can play all the music we want, anything we want in the convention center. We can broadcast it. We have all of the proper licensing. But I asked about the hotels. And so we all did a check, and it turned out like literally over a footbridge, right? You go from the convention center, walk across a footbridge and into the hotel. Once you step foot in the hotel, we did not have the rights to play the music.
Oh, we have to be very careful about that.
It's crazy. Music, everything is freaking bonkers. So, I mean, no harm, no foul. We had royalty-free music we could play. So, I mean, that was fine. In the event, no one even knew, right? They don't notice. It's a reception.
Yeah.
But that goes to show how wonky those rules and laws can be, and that you do actually have to be cognizant of it. Like you and I, we were talking about, well, how can we? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the thing is, no matter whether you agree with it or not, you have to abide by it, because otherwise they're going to come around and say, you've done wrong. Please give us, well, you've been fined a very large amount of money.
And it's a large amount of money.
And I'll bet your client will actually look at you and go, you didn't know about this? Because you're going to have to fund this.
Here's the thing with copyright. Well, especially here in the United States, you lose. There's no gray area. If you have a copyrighted image on your website and you get pinged on it, you lose. It's just a matter of how much you're going to pay. With music, if you use music, it's worth it to get the licenses. Now, so we're not going to get the licenses for us to do a monthly, maybe even weekly radio thing, right? Our Meeting Planner Music Club. It just doesn't make any sense to pay that kind of money. So we will use outlets where we can actually use the music, which is, on the blog, we can use YouTube. We can embed YouTube videos, totally legit.
Yeah, especially if they're coming from official record label channels.
Yes, we've all seen Vivo on YouTube. That is, if you're getting Vivo videos, whatever, they're good.
Yeah.
And then we are going to use Anchor and Spotify, because Spotify, which that our podcast goes out there anyway. Now, for those episodes of the podcast, they will not be on Google Play Podcasts or Apple Podcasts or whatever. They will just be on Spotify and Anchor.
Yes, because otherwise, because that's where the music is licensed to be played. Anywhere else on a podcast, or especially if you take the podcast audio with that music and then upload it to YouTube or any other platform, you're digging yourself a huge hole.
Yeah, just don't. It's
Yeah.
I've seen people get spanked by the copyright, and I heard $8,000 was one hit. It's a lot of money.
I can imagine.
So don't screw around with it.
Yeah. So this is going to be another one of our experiments. We're going to see if we can do a music club where we actually get to hear the music instead of getting clobbered by copyright claims, and everybody gets a chance to chip in with their favorite bit of music, and we can talk about it.
And what I think we'll do is, for the Spotify playlist we create, and we'll have that Spotify playlist on bullet-list.com. See how I did that?
I love the way you go for that. That's brilliant. Well done.
We'll put the Spotify playlist. It's going to be an open playlist, so everybody should be able to just go ahead and add songs that they think are cool in there.
That'd be really cool. And then we can have a look through and see what's been selected for that month, what's been added and what we would like to add. So, yeah, that all sounds cool.
Yeah. So what are you thinking of adding? Give me one song you're going to add.
Right. Okay. I have thought about this. Actually, I had 3 tracks, but if you're going to go for one, then...
We might get to all 3.
Well, it's slightly off the wall. Okay, I've always been into electronic music, where it's Kraftwerk, Tangerine Dream, Jean-Michel Jarre. There's a whole loads of people. Klaus Schultz, for example. I mean, I love it. However, I once listened to a King Crimson track, got blown away, and it's just become one of my faves that I love to play, and that is 21st Century Schizoid Man.
Now, have you watched, because I like Robert Fripp, King Crimson. Yeah. Have you watched him and his wife, their videos on Saturdays?
I haven't yet, but they do it regularly, and everybody's talking about it.
And they're not spring chickens. They're older, and she was a pop star, and he was a rock star, and so every Saturday they do a thing on YouTube where they've played Nirvana. I think they've played Ozzy Osbourne. They played Crazy Train, but it's really fun to watch them because they are, and they've been married for forever.
Yeah. Go on. What would you add?
So my musical tastes are flopping all over the place, right? I go everywhere. My 2 favorite bands, 1 and 2, are probably, and they flip back and forth. I go from the Clash to the Grateful Dead.
Well, the Clash is a great choice.
Of course it is. So are the Grateful Dead. Right. But I also like a lot of new music or newer music. So I think I'll be all over the board with kind of the stuff that I pick. Like right now, I've been listening, and it's not new, but I've been listening to a lot of Ida Maria is her name, I think, Norwegian or something like that. But spectacular. She rocks. And then who's the other one I've been listening to a ton of lately? It's amazing how I can just come into my Spotify playlist and it's all here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Keep talking there, Bob. You got to say.
All right. So you mentioned the Clash. Obviously, there's the classic Bank Robber.
Yes.
London's Burning.
The Magnificent Seven.
Oh yeah. And what was the other one? The one I really like. Oh, Guns of Brixton.
Yes. And I like the Clash so much, and that I am not one of those weird people that actually go and seek out celebrity or anything like that. I'm not one of those people. But when I was in London, I had to go get my picture taken at the spot where the Clash took their first photo op, their first album cover. Now, it did help that I was actually standing in the spot where they did it, so it was kind of easy for me to do because it's right in
Yeah,
Canada.
yeah.
But that's kind of how I'm feeling about that. The other, who I'm actually going to a lot of music lately is Brody Daly. Brody Daly, Dalle. She used to be the lead singer of a band called the Distillers, kind of a punk band.
Yeah.
But her solo stuff is really good. And then she's had a couple of other smaller bands in there. Some people might know her because she actually is married to or was married to the dude from Josh Home.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, and
I've no idea.
they've actually been in the news a lot lately because they actually,
Right.
they don't get.
Oh, there's another group I would add, and that'd be Japan. David Sylvian.
Don't know them very much.
Oh, you got to listen. Some of the early stuff's quite rocky, but then it goes on to, his real sort of not somber as such, but it's quite, it's really good. It's a really good artist, a really good group. They're worth checking out. Sort of 80s, 90s, really exciting stuff.
Yeah, and but not one to get stagnant. For me, if you just look at the bands that I've gone and seen lately over the past few years, right? I'm going all over from whatever I was seeing, like One Republic 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Duran Duran next week. There isn't any music I don't like, except with the exception of New Country.
Actually, no, any country and western. It's all about grannies dying and wives leaving, the tortoise is dead, and the cat's left him. I mean, it's just all dire.
I like me some old Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash.
Well, I suppose Johnny Cash maybe, but country and western as a genre, it should be sort of like eradicated from the planet. But there you go. That's just my opinion.
I may not like it, but I at least, I get it. There's some of them are really talented artists. They are. I just don't happen to like it.
Okay.
I went and saw Kenny Chesney in concert.
Okay. You feel better now?
No, not really.
Well, there you go. Don't do it again then.
All right. So that's going to be our plan. So we're 15 minutes into this one, and that is going to be our plan. So we are going to do the Meeting Planner Music Club via YouTube videos on the blog because we can do that, right?
Yes.
That is what you are permitted to do.
So we'll do a summary, kind of like these are the top ones that were mentioned on this month's Music Club video in the blog post, and then we'll have a page on the blog which will detail where to go at what time to listen in, join in, take part, whatever.
Yep. And then we will do the podcast episodes will be on Anchor and Spotify so that we can actually, the music is licensed and we can actually talk about the music and then play the songs.
Yes.
Something, again, we can't do here because of copyright.
Yes. We have to be good people because otherwise they're going to ask us for a lot of money.
And then the third thing we're going to do is we will have an open Spotify playlist where anyone can go in and add their songs to it so that we can kind of get the pulse of what the event industry is thinking about music. I'm sure it's going to be really freaking eclectic.
It's going to be a bit weird.
It'll go with everything from Ida Marie to Air Supply, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. That should be fun. Yeah. Yeah. Monks chanting all the way to, I don't know.
Whatever. So do you go through spurts with artists?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's days where I will go through days where I will listen to nothing but Hawkwind or nothing but the Beastie Boys.
Yeah. And then after a while, the Beastie Boys are a really prime example. Like, I love Paul's Boutique. I love everything. The Beastie Boys are amazing.
Yeah.
But there are just some months I cannot listen to them.
Yeah, because it's a bit much. You go, it's just overwhelming. I don't want to do this, and you listen to something else. So maybe a bit of ambient or a bit of light techno or something.
Yeah, but I do. I go in phases with artists. Two prime examples for me are Aerosmith and the Cars. Like
Okay.
I can listen to Aerosmith every day, all day for like a week, and then I won't touch it for a year.
Yeah. I think it really is mood dependent because there's a particular group that I know that nobody else is going to like. It's one of those little small niche bands, Absolute Body Control. They're Dutch, if I remember rightly, and it is like industrial techno from the '90s. It's really hard and abrasive. Yeah, I can just do it all day.
Ooh,
Brilliant.
you know who I actually might get? I had good tickets and I didn't end up buying them. I selected them and
Yeah,
then get it, and now I'm regretting it. So I'm actually probably going to do it, which is here in Chicago at the Riviera, a club here in Chicago.
yeah.
242 and Neitzer Ebb are performing in one night.
Funny enough, I've heard of those.
That's some hardcore industrial stuff, right?
Yeah, that is.
And they're phenomenal. But it's funny to think about it. I remember them when they were young. How's it going to be when they're in their late 60s cranking out the songs like Headhunt?
Yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah, and don't start talking about age because then we'll just have to get the walking sticks out.
Whatever.
Anyway, so that's the plan then.
That is the plan. So I think we're good for today. I think we've explained. Hopefully, we've done a good job in explaining what we're planning on doing.
I believe so.
Where can people find it? Where are we going to drop those links, Bob?
Oh, I don't know. How about a few Facebook pages? You still haven't got the bar at the bottom yet, have you?
No.
Yeah, okay. Facebook, come and visit us on the Bullet List group. Come and see some updates on the Event Planner News page and also on the Plannerwire page. And don't forget, we have a YouTube channel. And what else?
Bullet-list.com.
Yay. Brilliant. Yeah. And quite soon, you'll find us on Anchor as well.
All right. Feel better, Bob.
Thank you. All right. Talk to you.